What is going on, people? Welcome to the first edition of the Mike Roach Show in 2026. Glad to be with you here once again. And, since tonight is an off night for the Toronto Raptors, I figured why not talk about Immanuel Quickley a little bit? Since he's been a big topic of discussion, why not touch on him just a little bit? I think we are going to start there tonight and probably just him on this episode tonight because all over social media, people have been talking about Immanuel Quickley in regards to the Raptors and, what the Raptors should do with him. He doesn't necessarily look the same. People don't like the way that he's playing. People are already saying we got to move on from him. And when I say people, I'm just talking about folks on the internet. That's it. And so I figured I'm going to take the time and have a discussion with you about Immanuel Quickley today. So the first thing that I want to talk about in regards to Immanuel Quickley is how has he been? How has he been? And remember, get into the comments. Get into the comments after the show. Let me know what you think, how he's been, what we should do with him, if he should continue to be a starter. You want to go forward with Immanuel Quickley with the team that we have assembled, you let me know. But I'm going to start here. How has he been? Now, when we look at Immanuel Quickley this season, he's been pretty hot and cold. He's been up and down. There hasn't necessarily been consistency with him all the time, right? And when I mean consistency, I'm not talking about a drop because we look at his numbers, which I'll show you in a bit. But let's say he's scoring, 16, 17 points consistently. Sometimes you'll see a dip to 2, 3, 4. Now, that doesn't happen often, but there has been a drop with his scoring, especially at certain times of the game. And don't get me wrong, it's not like we're saying he's scoring 4 or 5 points a game, and I'll get those numbers up for you in a second. But it also matters when you're scoring in the game as well, right? Are you scoring in important times where the team really needs you to step up and get a bucket? Or are you doing a majority of that scoring or some of that scoring to fill the stat sheet when the game is already over, right? And so those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. When it comes to Immanuel Quickley, does something seem off with him? Do you think the chemistry is still there when it comes to Scottie Barnes, a Brandon Ingram, anybody else, if you want to mention RJ Barrett, even though he's been out for a little bit? Is the chemistry still there? Does he make it his job to make these guys better? Is that what he's doing with his role of being the starting point guard on this team? These are the questions that I'm asking. The body language. What is it like with him and Scottie, with BI? Is anyone noticing anything? Now, to me, something has been off with him and Scottie Barnes with their chemistry on the court. Not really sure 100% what it is as of right now. Still looking into it, but it just seems like he doesn't necessarily share the ball as much as he should, in my opinion, with one Scottie Barnes. And Scottie Barnes at the same time is one of those guys who does a lot of facilitating himself, right? And so Scottie is, when the ball is in his hands, he's averaging 16 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists right now in the season. I'm going to share the screen with you actually so you can see it for yourself. All right, come on. All right, so you guys can see it here. Let's go down. As you can see all of his numbers here since coming over to the Raptors here. And so when you look at his numbers, all right, 64 games, 78 games, 81, 30, 38, blah, blah, blah. You look at his numbers here, 14, 15 points per game, 18, 17, 17, 16, average of 14 over his career. So 16.3 points this year per game in 34 games, 6.3 assists. He's shooting 35.9% from 3-point range, 43% from the field. And like I'm saying, like Immanuel Quickley, the numbers are there. It's not just about the box score, right? All of us know this by now. That's why you have to watch the games. And so his stats, what type of player is Immanuel Quickley since he's been in this league? New York, New York, New York for his first few seasons. He was an off the bench scorer. That's what he did. Came off the bench, gave you havoc, put the ball in the basket. And when you look at his minutes, we're talking about limited minutes here. So he's definitely, obviously, had a change of role. 19 minutes, 23, 28, 24 before coming to the Raptors. And then it jumps to 33, 29, 27. Now 32 minutes, just over 32 minutes a game for the Toronto Raptors this season. But the big thing is who has he been playing with this season, right? Compared to who he was playing with last season, obviously, elephant in the room, Brandon Ingram. And so when you look at Immanuel Quickley's game, we're going to talk about the ways that he needs to possibly adjust. But when you look at his game, okay, we know he's capable of shooting the ball. We know he's capable of shooting the ball. Can he get into the paint? Yes, he can, clearly. Can he push the ball in transition? Yes, he can. And listen to the words that I'm using. I'm saying, yes, he can. But I'm not necessarily saying that he's doing a good job at it. Okay. Has he shown that he can defend? Yes, at times he has shown he can defend. Is he a capable passer? Yes, he's shown he is a capable passer. But when it comes to his shooting capabilities, the thing that concerns me the most about Immanuel Quickley is what type of shots is he taking? Is he taking good shots? Is he taking shots where instead of taking that shot, should he have made the extra pass? Did he have a chance to get into the lane and get to the basket? And if the defense collapses on him, can he drop it off to somebody in the dunker spot or kick it out to somebody in the corner for a three-point shot that was a higher percentage shot than the original one that he had at three-point range before going into the key? These are the kind of questions that I'm wondering about when it comes to Immanuel Quickley. And the answer for me is yes. Now, there is something that I want to see Immanuel Quickley do instead of settling, and I'll get to that in just a second. But to me, pushing that ball in transition has been an issue for Immanuel Quickley when he has his other guys running the floor. Scottie Barnes and Ingram, Barrett. One thing that I realized that's very different about Scottie Barnes and Immanuel Quickley is that Scottie Barnes, when he, let me make sure this is on vibrate, when he gets the ball off of an outlet pass or if he gets the defensive rebound, he looks to push the ball immediately. He looks to push the ball and get the ball up the floor immediately. He gets it out of his hands, gets the ball up the floor, and looks to score in transition. Like, look at that. Even though they lost that game against the Denver Nuggets, look at the end of that game when there was 2.7 seconds on the clock. 2.7 seconds on the clock. Bruce Brown misses the free throw. Scottie catches the ball two hands in like less than a second. This guy turns, throws the overhead pass to Brandon Ingram. And the crazy thing about the pass is he didn't throw it to where Brandon Ingram was. He threw it to the corner, leading Ingram into the corner to catch it, turn, and shoot. Like, to me, that's one of those plays that if Immanuel Quickley caught that ball, he would not have done. That's the difference. He wouldn't have made that pass to Ingram, at least in my opinion. It's not like I can be, definitive about that, but I just don't see that. And to me, Scottie Barnes has more of an urgency to give that ball up, find teammates in scoring position, get it out into transition, and make plays for everyone. He's less hesitant to do that. He does it at a much faster pace, right? And that's what Immanuel Quickley has to do, in my opinion. He has to become better at getting the ball out of his hands faster, especially in transition. In the offense, there's a whole bunch of things that we got to say about the offense. I won't even get into that right now. But he's shown he's a capable passer. It's not that he can't do it. We just want to see him do it more because his role to me now has changed. Now, I mentioned to you before that, yes, he's known as an off the bench scorer from the New York Knicks. He's did it for years, and now he comes over here. And when he gets traded over here with RJ Barrett, right? You don't have a Brandon Ingram at that point. And so he still has to score the basketball. Has to. Because, yeah, you have Barnes, you have Barrett, and yeah, you have Pirtle, but Pirtle's not going to give you points like that. And obviously, you still need to be able to put points up on the board. This is a league where you got to put points up right now. And so he has the ability, like I mentioned, to get to the basket, to shoot it from 3-point range. And when you look at his highlights from, or just watch the games over the last few seasons, I thought he did a better job of attacking the paint. Now, I'm not sure if the data actually says that. I'm just going off the eye test of what I can remember. But that is something I want to see more from Immanuel Quickley. I want to see Immanuel Quickley start getting into the paint, be relentless going into the paint. He is quick, no pun intended, like really, really quick. And he is tough to stop off the dribble. Do not settle for jump shots if you are Immanuel Quickley. Get to the paint as much as possible. Finish at the basket. Get to the free throw line. Put pressure on the defense going downhill. Get into the heart. Let them collapse. Break the defense down. That's what I want to see more of from Immanuel Quickley. And damn it, do it in transition. But in transition, don't force it going up against 3 guys in front of you. Do not do that. And so I want to see, and I know, people are frustrated with Immanuel Quickley. A lot of people, they want him out of town. They got to get rid. We got to get. I'm willing to see him make adjustments to his game first. I'm willing to see him make adjustments to his game first. And, people will have their opinions on if they want him to go or stay or whatever. I'm just telling you, okay, because he's the guy that we have here now. And I think Immanuel Quickley also wants to be here. And so take that into consideration as well. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if Immanuel Quickley will be here by the deadline. None of us do. I'm open for anything. I'm just saying that after that addition of Brandon Ingram, your role as the point guard has to now change. It has to change now because all that scoring that you used to do, we don't necessarily need it at this point. We still need you to score, don't get me wrong, especially when it comes to getting into the paint, putting the pressure on the defense, hitting open shots. We definitely need you to do that. That advantage that you have with speed, quickness, you have to use that as a weapon against the defense. But you also got to create for Scottie. You also got to be able to create for BI and Barrett and the bench if you're alongside them, whoever it is, your bigs now, Pirtle when he's in the game, and whoever else is in that dunker spot, slash and crash in the lane. You got to be able to create for these guys as well. And you're not doing a terrible job at it with your 6 assists. But I think you could do a better job of it. I think you could make it, more intentional to create for your teammates. What are the numbers that Scottie Barnes is averaging as a playmaker? I'm going to look this up on my phone for a second because I don't know. And I want to take a look at that. You know what? I'm already on the computer. Since you guys are here, why don't we just look at it together? All right, here's Immanuel Quickley's numbers. Let's go to Scottie Barnes for a second. What is Here's Scottie. Scottie Barnes is averaging 5.3 assists per game. And he does that with ease. He does that with ease. So imagine if Scottie was actually the point guard on this team, what kind of damage he could do. I'm not saying he ever will be. I'm just saying the damage he can do, because Scottie's just a naturally good passer. And he's so unselfish with his passing, which is why he's just such a damn good. 3.5 assists per game, 4.8, 6.1 assists per game, 5.8. This guy's averaged 5 assists per game over his career. Scottie's just a flat out good passer. And he has a knack for it, like I mentioned, especially in transition. And so I want to see Immanuel Quickley do a better job of creating for his teammates, especially pushing the basketball. Some of the cons for Immanuel Quickley, aside from that, from a defensive standpoint, there's one thing specifically that really drives me crazy with Immanuel Quickley that I've been noticing. And I've realized over the last few games, I haven't really seen him do it as much, where there are times when I'm watching Immanuel Quickley and I see him trying to cherry pick. And I don't like that, because when you don't come up with that rebound and you're trying to cherry pick, and now teams are playing 5-on-4 for a quick second, that's all they need to get an open look. And so I don't like that part of Immanuel Quickley's cherry picking that he does from time to time. I'm not going to kill him and say that he's doing all the time, because it's not true. But I have seen him do it from time to time. But overall, you know what? Like, I'm not saying he's great defensively, but there are some times when Immanuel Quickley really puts out a good effort on defense. And you do see it. So I can't even crush him when it comes to his defense, because he'll get into those passing lanes. Don't really want to see him gamble, right? And I don't want to be too nitpicky. And say, well, he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that, and make it seem like, okay, he's not the perfect basketball player. Like, I can say this about anybody on the Raptors roster right now and anybody in the league. And so I don't want to come on here and be unfair, because overall, Immanuel Quickley is a good player, and he has been struggling a bit. And even when you look at his numbers, they're still decent, but I just feel like he can do better. And I expect him to. I think we all expect him to, because we do have to admit that when Immanuel Quickley is on his game, he's a damn good player. And so let's give him a little bit of credit here as well. And so I'm not coming into this to crush Immanuel Quickley. I want to see him make some adjustments, because I think it'll be adjustments that benefit his game and the team as well. And like I mentioned, I want to see him change the role a little bit and become more of a traditional point guard than a scoring point guard. At this point, I don't know if he can do that. That's just the way his game is, the way he plays. And overall, the point guard position has changed anyway. Like, overall, point guards just score more. And it's not like they haven't scored in the past. It's just the way the game has changed overall in totality in regards to shooting. That's it. And so let me know your thoughts of what you think about Immanuel Quickley, how he's been playing. What do you think the Raptors should do with him at the deadline or after the season? Do we give him some grace here and, still let him adjust to BI being in that lineup and, now having a BI, a Barrett, and a Barnes, and you got to give those guys the ball, preference at least to try to score first before he does, whatever the case may be. Let me know your thoughts. At Mike Roach 7 on IG, at Mike Roach 23 on X. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share the show. Until next time, this is the Mike Roach Show, and I'll be back again soon, and I'm out.